someone wants to steal your bike, they're gonna steal it. It's only slightly harder to steal your motorcycle than it is to actually steal a bicycle. So there are a lot of devices out there for people with motorcycles on how to deter theft, right? There's chain locks, there's disc brake locks, and there's GPSs that you can put on your bike, which I figure the most effective one is the actual GPS. What the hell is that? Because you can actually track it and you know when someone's taken in and your bike is moving or whatever. But it doesn't matter, like, no matter where you live, your bike can be stolen. Whether you have an enclosed garage or not to keep your bike at night, it can still be stolen from there. It's harder to be stolen in there if it was in the street or whatever, but it can still be stolen from there. If you live somewhere and you chain that thing up to, you know, a street sign post or whatever, something like a kryptonite chain. So there's an example, I don't know if you guys can actually see that. People do that, they chain their bike up to something like that. So, if you kind of look at it, there's a bolt on the bottom there. And all you have to do is unbolt that bolt, and then the top of it actually lifts off, and then you can actually take the bike off. So even if you have a really strong ass chain connected to something like that, it's very easy for someone to just unbolt that and then lift your bike up and your chain is worthless. Another thing that they can do is that they can just, you know, just cut that thing. If there is no bolt there, that's thin metal. Your actual chain is probably made of stronger material than that. And then there's other guys that can just pick a lock and then your bike is gone anyways. And here's the thing, you know, I mentioned even if you have a garage, so no matter where you're going, you can be grocery shopping and your bike is going to get stolen. I mean, I'll put his link here because he's awesome, but Chase on Two Wheels, he's had like 3 bikes stolen. Jake the Garden Snake, put his stuff right here too, he's had his bike stolen as well. And they're all like sports bikes that have been stolen, but he even had, I mean, Chase, he had a sports bike stolen, but he also even had a supermoto stolen as well. So I mean, it really doesn't matter to anyone what type of bike you have. They're gonna come and take it no matter what, and no matter where you live. There's really nowhere to stop it. So what I recommend is, if you're going somewhere and you're gonna park your bike, of course it's better if you park it inside your house at night, but during the day you're gonna have to leave it in a parking lot somewhere. There's other things, like if you're going to work or you're going to the movies or you're going somewhere and it has a parking garage and you go leave it in the parking garage, or park outside, dude, pick the parking garage. Because at least when you're in the parking garage, when you're leaving it, when you're going to a restaurant or a movie or whatever, it's not wide out in the open. And parking garages are pretty big and they're made up like a maze. So the person has to pretty much, you know, try to find you. But if they're following you, they're going to find it anyways. So what is my recommendation for this? So you can buy, of course, you can buy full-size coverage for your bike. And that can cost a lot of money as well. Sometimes it costs more than a car. So you end up paying a few $100s a month for insurance on your bike, because it can be stolen rather easily. So you have to understand, that's not the insurance company trying to rip you off. That's them covering their ass, because they know that the asset that you have can be taken on a whim very easily. So what do I recommend? Buy a cheap bike. Like what I'm writing right here, this is an SV650. It's a 2000 model. It's a fun to ride bike. And guess what? It only cost me like 2,000 bucks. So they take it. Whatever, it's only $2,000. It's not a huge amount of money. It's not like you bought an R1, which costs 10,000 bucks. You can own sports bikes. I'm not saying that you should not buy a sports bike. You can definitely get one. But just know that it could be taken at any time, even if you have a home garage. So think about that a little bit, about the type of bikes that you buy. Again, I'm not saying that don't buy, oh, it's a fucking bus. Don't buy a bike just because you're scared of it being taken, but know that it can be taken. Know your financial situation, what your insurance coverage is, and if you feel like your bikes could be taken one day, everyone feels that, of course, but I feel that. And you're not really losing out on anything. So be attentive, be smart about everything you do. That's it.